Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for BroadwayWorld. Piece of My Heart, the Bert Berns Story, is the new musical based on the life and songs of legendary songwriter Bert Berns. It will open here on July 21st at the Diamond. He gave us such hits as Cry Baby, Twist and Shout, and Piece of My Heart. It is directed and choreographed by Dennis Jones, and the cast includes Zach Resnick, Leslie Kritzer, and Linda Hart. And we dropped by the rehearsal room to meet the company and bring you a sneak peek.
Didn't I give you everything that I possibly can? But with all the love I give you, stand right now. I'm gonna show you, baby, that a woman can be tough. So come on, come on, come on, come on. Take another little piece of your heart now, baby. Bring it. Bring another little piece of my heart now, baby. Have another little piece of my heart now, baby. You know you got it if it makes you feel good.
How did you come about to work on this, Dennis?
Well, I've been involved with it on and off for about the last 4.5 years, since an early reading at a New York Theater Workshop. And it's just been something that I've been somewhat obsessed with for a while. I tell the Berns kids all the time, it actually makes me a little crazy. Like, I think the catalog of music is spectacular. I think the story is so important and interesting. It really has gotten under my skin and has made me a little crazy for about 5 years now.
He's written so many hits that people didn't know that he wrote.
It's one of those catalogs where the songs keep coming and you're like, oh, he wrote that, he wrote that, he wrote that. But in addition, what I think is so exciting about this is there's a large portion of his catalog actually that people don't know at all. Music that were, kind of came and went quickly, that we've able to sort of further develop into a score, sort of integrate into this huge body of work. So I think people will be surprised by how much of his music they know, but also how much of it is sort of brand new to them.
I mean, I Want Candy, Twist and Shout, Cry Baby.
Here Comes the Night, Cry Baby. I mean, they just keep on coming. But I think we've tried to do sort of an interesting thing in that we've integrated it actually into a score. So you hear this music, but it's very character-driven and narrative-driven, and as his music was so personal and actually spoke so much about what he was kind of dealing with, it actually lends itself, I think, very well to that kind of format.
And talk about, you wear both hats in this show. I mean, we first fell in love with you as a dancer, then as a choreographer, and now a director-choreographer. What have the challenges been with this piece?
I mean, the challenge is always time, in a sense. You know what I mean? We've had a nice, luxurious, I think, rehearsal period here, and we're going into tech with, great optimism. But the devil's in the schedule. It's always in the schedule. You know what I mean? You want to be in every room at the same time, but I'm well protected by a great team.
And a terrific cast you've assembled.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's an incredible group of people. Yes, I was so glad you got to see some of them today. But yeah, it's a remarkable group of actors. I'm very, very, very excited about it.
So how did you find Zach to cast him as Bert?
Well, I actually met Zach a couple years ago when I was doing another show called Disaster, when Disaster, that crazy musical, was up at the Triad, and Zach actually played the lead in that, so that's how I first got to know him. Great actor, a voice it's so crazy. The first read-through we did of this, he sang a song, and all of the women, and I would dare say probably some of the men in the room too, all sort of uttered a collective gasp. I mean, it was just like, oh, that voice. It's pretty special.
Then you have Linda Hart and Leslie Kritzer.
Yeah, Linda Hart and Leslie Kritzer, some great ladies of the American theater. Yeah, playing mother and daughter, and they've worked together before actually, so kind of came in with a sort of a built-in relationship, which was fantastic. But I mean, really powerful ladies, great voices, and just great people.
What do you want the audience to take away from this after seeing this show?
Well, I mean, I think it's so important to share this body of work with the audience, to hear these songs, new songs to them and old songs that are sort of beloved, but also to share this story. I mean, Bert Berns is not somebody that people know. I mean, have never run into anyone who, when I said, oh, I'm working on this thing about Bert Berns, who has replied like, oh yeah, he wrote, like they just don't know this guy. And it's a really interesting, complicated story. And I'm just thrilled to be a part of the group that's going to bring it to audiences.
This was amazing too. This was great.
Thank you.
What was today like for you?
You know, it's that part in the process where you've been rehearsing and everything's been kind of separated, and then you put pieces together and you feel the energy in the room and you're like, oh my gosh, this is really about to happen. We start tech tomorrow, and you know, this was like the time where it becomes very exciting. Yeah.
Talk about the role that you play and the number we saw you do today.
Okay, I play Candace, and I have an attraction towards Bert, and I see a potential in him. He's unlike anyone I've ever met before, and the piece that you saw, Are You Lonely For Me, is basically, you have these two souls coming together who kind of understand each other artistically, kind of expressing that kind of desire and passion for each other, but also later on you kind of see where, because of the time in society, maybe it's not the easiest time to be together. And so, yeah, some things happen. I don't want to give away too much, but Candace is the first one to really see, like, there's something really special about this guy that's different from the other guys who are out here, the other Jewish guys who are out here. Nobody was out there doing soul music like him, so, yeah.
You know, we lost him very young. Did you know his catalog of work before getting involved?
Well, of course I knew Piece of My Heart and Cry Baby, you know why. And I knew the Candy song from childhood because it was on so many different commercials. But a lot of the other songs I really fell in love with, I had never heard before. And that's a great thing about this musical, is that I think for a lot of people, really up until the age of 50, it's going to be a discovery of new songs. Even though it's a catalog of work by one artist, it's going to be a lot of new songs to a lot of people. So that's the cool thing about it.
What are you enjoying the most about working on it?
I kind of like playing a cougar. You know, I'm stepping into my late 30s and going with it. It's fun. It's always fun playing cougar.
So come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on and cry, cry, baby, cry, baby, cry, baby. Welcome back home.
How wonderful is it to be working on this musical?
So exciting. Piece of my heart, piece of my Linda heart. You know, I've been working on it for 3 years because I did the workshops and then we did a quick stint at Vassar. And so this is so exciting. It's music that I know, music I love, and the fact that Bert wrote all this music before 1967 and that it's so incredibly current in his sexy Latin language. You know, he was Jewish, he was classically trained, and he went to Cuba to study Latin beats and rhythms. And the music tells great stories. Every song is just something that happened to him, was written on experiences. Piece of My Heart is about his going to die of a weak heart before he turns 30 years old. And take another little piece of my heart. So there's some pretty damn memorable music in here. And I'm thrilled because I've been with it for such a long time, and to see it opening at the Signature Theater July 25th is fantastic.
And talk about the role that you play. I love the concept of how the whole show works, like in the past and in the present.
Well, I play Irene Berns, who, by the way, is alive and well and coming to opening. Lives in Nashville, and I play Eileen, he passes away in 1967. And then there is the gal that's playing me in my 20s, and then I come along and take over. Leslie Kritzer plays my daughter. There are a couple of scenes where she's a young girl, like 10 or something, and then she comes into now. And it goes from 1960 to now. So we cover a lot of territory, and it's exciting because the music stays prevalent. It's blows my mind.
What was today like for you, sort of opening it up for an audience for the first time?
Wonderful, because we haven't had more than 7 people in the room in 4 weeks, and you know there's a big emotional ride in this show. He had an extraordinary life, you know, mixed up with the mafia, mixed up with Castro, Cuba, New York. Some characters, Jerry Wexler, Ahmet Erdogan, you know, and based on a life, a true life. And the original arranger and conductor, Gary Sherman. So, and the kids, you know, Cassie Burns and her brother Brett. It's wonderful to be playing a part that someone exists. So that's thrilling. In the past, when I've created a few mothers, they did not exist, and this one does, so that's very exciting to me. Today, get back to your question. Today was thrilling to just see the look on people's faces when they heard these songs, and the look on your face when you know the story, the greatest untold rock and roll songwriter that no one knows his name.
How excited are you to be working on this new musical?
Oh, it's really, really fun. I love the music so much. Some of my favorite songs from the 60s were actually written by Bert, so it's kind of a surprise, a very fun surprise for me. Like Cry to Me, Cry Baby, Piece of My Heart are 3 of probably my favorite songs that are on my playlist that I listen to all the time. Cry to Me was a ringtone on my phone, so.
Oh, you do have a big history with this.
Yeah, I love the music, and then discovering he has a huge song catalog that we really don't know, and this musical presents a lot of unknown songs that are just so good. It's so fun.
And talk about the role that you play.
I play Eileen. I play young Eileen because we get to see 2 Eileens. We get to see Eileen, current Eileen in the present, and young Eileen in the 60s. So I get to play the 1960s Eileen, and she's kind of a young, tough broad living in New York. She's a go-go dancer at a club in New York that famously, or at least in the stories, that Goldie Hawn dance at the same club, and they dance like across from each other, and Eileen might have had a chance to be in Laugh-In, but Goldie Hawn got it instead, or maybe Eileen couldn't take it, and so they went with Goldie Hawn. Who knows? So that's fun.
Yeah. And having Bert's kids in the creation process of this, what that's been like?
It's really, really incredible. They are so warm and so generous and so excited about this piece, and I feel like they are so brave. This is not an easy story that we're telling. I mean, Bert died very, very young, and they didn't know their father, and he had some darkness in him, I mean, in his life, and we're, showcasing some of that, and I can't really imagine watching that every day in this room, some of the stuff that we go through. So they are incredibly brave and just so open and wonderful to share this and with us, and to be able to go to the dark places with their dad. So they're great.
Show me your muscle. Show me your monkey. Show me your tricks. Show me your teeth. Show me the mashed potato. When I like it like me. Yeah. Show me your monkey. Show me your monkey. Show me
This was amazing today. This was really great. Thank you for opening the rehearsal room. What was today like for you?
Man, today was, you were our first audience. And so to see how you guys received us and to receive the music and the scenes and that you guys were on our side, it was just heartwarming. We're on the right page. We're ready to get into the theater now. We're ready for previews. Previews, I think, are June 25th. And we're ready for an audience. And so it was like just the last little piece of the puzzle. Yeah.
So talk about the song that opened the presentations today that you did.
Yeah, okay. So the song is it's called Show Me Your Monkey, which is a fun song. It's one of Bert Berns' more obscure songs. People don't really know about it. I didn't know about it until I sang it. And it's just a really fun song. It kind of introduces Bert Berns and Hoagie as a team, as a band, a two-person band. And it's a really good introduction into his beginnings, Bert Berns' beginning as a composer, because it's not one of his greatest songs. And then as the show progresses, you get to hear Twist and Shout, you get to hear Cry Baby, you get to hear Piece of My Heart. And so you see the evolution of his compositions, which is what the story is really about.
Talk about working with your director choreographer Dennis Jones.
Dennis Jones is amazing. This is my second time working with him. I worked with him last summer at Williamstown, and so I came in and I saw him in here and I was like, I gotta work with you again. He's a really good director. He knows how to talk to actors, and I think that's because he was also a performer as well. And so it's really good to bounce ideas. He's really good in saying, hey, what do you think about this? And he's really good at focusing an actor, which we need. Yeah, we need it. He's good at that.
What do you want audiences to take away, or what do you think they'll take away after seeing Piece of My Heart?
I hope that they'll take away more of a knowledge for Bert Berns. As artists, we want to be acknowledged for our work. Art is very close to us, and to create something and to be acknowledged for it, not necessarily praised or criticized for it, but just to be acknowledged for the art that you create, it's very important to an artist. And so hopefully they will, some people will stroll down memory lane. Other people will get a good history lesson about Bert Berns. Hopefully they'll take away art and the appreciation for art and the appreciation for the creation of art.
This was amazing.
Thank you.
You're one of my all-time favorite people. What was today like for you?
You know what? It's just so exciting to be a part of a show that is about a man who is very inspiring, who is the unknown face behind some of the most famous songs in contemporary music, and also behind producing some of the greatest acts of our time, musical acts. Learning about his history and connecting, as I'm playing his daughter in the show, who never knew him, really finding that spiritual connection between the music and the daughter really coming together, and the story of finding who her father was through the music is very beautiful, and I think something different that people haven't had in a musical that has music that's already been written. And I think the songs itself tell the story, and I feel so blessed to be a part of it. It's great. And it was fun to be here and do it for all of you.
I was going to say, this is like your first day with an audience, everybody said.
I know, and I'm like, I went to my husband's opening last night. I'm like running around, so this was great to kind of just go, okay, let's just do it. And I think the response was great, and I cannot wait to get in the theater and show this to an audience, because I really think they're going to love it.
I mean, dynamite cast. I mean, you get to work with Linda Hart.
I mean, second time working with her. I did Trailer Park the musical with her, and she's one of my favorite people. I mean, working with Linda is like working with a family member. I mean, as soon as we saw each other when we walked in rehearsal, we're like, I mean, there's just nothing better than that.
Working with Dennis Jones.
I love Dennis. I've done a couple of shows with Dennis now, and this is my first one with him as a director, and I think he's so talented. He's so gifted. I have shorthand with him. It's rare that I've been able to work with these people, and Daniel, our book writer, as well. So I feel so comfortable. I mean, that's really a rarity, and so I'm just so blessed that they asked me to do it.
Do you have a favorite song?
Yes, Heart Be Still, which is something I don't sing. It's and I don't want to ruin it for anyone at home, but it's we have a cast member named Teresa Garrison, and she is this is her first theatrical show, but her voice is literally like the voice of God, and when she sings in that number, Just watch out. It's like stunning. It's stunning. And I listen to it and it just brings me to the place I need to be in that particular scene every night, every time. So can't wait for everyone to know who she is.
What is it? What's wrong? Is it me?
No, God, no, it's not. I can't.
Sure you can.
No, I don't have a lot of time, you know?
What? You got a curfew?
No, listen. I got a weak heart. Since I was a kid, I can't overexert myself.
This was so exciting today. The rehearsal room was open. You had an audience today. What was it like for you guys?
Oh, nerve-wracking. You know, it's so exciting and scary when you're working on a brand new piece and you're showing it for the first time to any kind of audience, let alone people from the industry. But it's so fun. It's so exciting to tell this story. It's such an important one to tell, and I think that we have a really great, it's got a great heart. It's got great message. It's got, feel-good songs, and it's exciting to bring this to the world.
Did you know his story before starting this?
No, not at all. No, and I've told many people that it's the Bert Berns story, and everyone's like, "Pardon my ignorance. Who is?" And I'm like, "No, it's okay. That's kind of the point. Nobody knows who he is. This is who he is." And everyone's, of course. How do I not know? And so it's totally okay to not know who he is. But hopefully, we'll educate a population of the world.
And what has it been like playing him so far with his kids here? I mean, being a major part of this.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's one of the best parts of this experience is having his children here and hearing the stories. And it's actually interesting because we don't really know what the truth is. We have their mother's side and we have Wazel's side, who's a real person. But they've sort of taken from each story and they've combined what they think is the truth from that. So it's great to hear their stories and hear stories about Van Morrison that people don't know and things like that. It's really amazing.
What was the first song that you learned?
In life or in the show?
In this show.
Oh, the first song, probably Here Comes the Night, which is our Act 1 finale. It's any actor's dream to sing that song. It's really an incredible piece of work.
And working with this cast, amazing. Leslie Kritzer, Linda Hart, everybody.
No, I'm in heaven. Who could ask for a better cast than this? When they sent out the cast list, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. It's amazing. These people are incredible. Really. The talent work could blow the roof off of this room. It's amazing.
And working with Dennis Jones.
Dennis is incredible. He's an amazing director. He's very giving. He's got so much heart. He cares so much. And, he listens to everybody. He's a great listener, and he's just, I can't speak highly enough of the man. I've worked with him before, and I'm so happy to work with him again.
If he was around, I think he'd really like you. Not just because you're his kid, because you're his son. He'd have been proud.
This was really exciting. For me, growing up in a family that loves 60s music, and my parents turned me on to your dad's stuff. So this means a lot to me. What does this mean to you two? This has been quite a journey for you two.
It's a dream come true, a long dream come true. 10 years or more, maybe 12 in the making. We realized that we had to tell his story in order to get his work recognized. And here we are in this amazing cast, our creative team. It's just happening like in weeks.
And we brought him back to life on the living stage, and that was the most remarkable part of the process, is that when we set out, we wanted to champion him, but we never dreamt that we'd actually be sort of seeing him every night in the form of Zach Resnick. And when our father's friends and family come and have seen the show and readings over the years, they say, wow, that's Bert. And so for us, it's like not only did we get to know him through his music, but we've kind of gotten to sort of know him even in a sort of physical sense. And it's very hard at the end of the show watching him, the inevitable happens. I don't want to give it away, but it's gut-wrenching and it's powerful and it's wonderful, and it is a dream come true.
You know, it was nothing about creative energy because all the songs your father wrote were primarily personal stories that, you know, you actually could piece his life together through his songs, which must mean a lot to you also.
Yeah, we really let the songs tell the story, and we realized that they were autobiographical. I mean, hearts that shatter like glass, and all these songs about tears and crying and heartache. I mean, it's very heavy. We actually tried to figure out who was best to tell the story within. The songs are just driving the book. We're really proud of that.
You have this incredible cast. I mean, you have Linda Hart, Leslie Kritzer, Zach Resnick. I mean, everyone is so amazing. What that's like for you to watch them work.
I mean,
such a treat.
yeah, we can't believe it. We pinch ourselves all the time. I mean, it's really, I mean, between the number of, like, you know, certifiable Broadway stars, and then there are people in the show like Teresa Gaddison, who Sissy Houston brought out of the church to be in the show, to sing those parts that she sang with Sissy and the girls back in the day. And I mean, you know, it just is unbelievable. Everybody in the cast are incredible, and it really feels like an ensemble piece where everybody
gets their
has
moment.
starring moments, and you know, we're just so proud of them. We're so proud of it, and thank you, Rachel Hoffman and Telsey, for putting this cast together for us. It's incredible.
And then you have Dennis Jones at the helm as your director choreographer, putting the whole thing together.
Dennis Jones, oh my gosh, I mean, he's just put it up on its feet. The dancing in the show, I feel like, is just on another level, and the staging and what we do in just the small office to tell this story and go back and forth. He really has taken this thing to a place that we only ever dreamed. Now it's a dream for us every day just watching it.
And Dennis is a lot like Bert Berns. This is one of the things that I really strikes me. He's got the sort of things that are examples to me of what a great leader and a great visionary artist has. He listens to the cast. He works with them. He's you know, his, like, Bert Berns had that sort of humility because he came up from the streets and came up, like, and Dennis has come up through as an actor and a dancer and a choreographer, and he really is just masterful. I think the world is in a big surprise for what Dennis has done with this show.
So what I also love about art, what your dad did, he lives on through all these songs when everybody listens to the radio. Your father's there every single day, and that's the coolest thing about being an artist.
Yes, it is. He's still in our lives. He is. I mean, the songs, I'm at the Starbucks, and you know, you hear, and it's like, oh, he's thinking of me. I know that's weird, but that's kind of where I go when I'm out in the world and hear one of these songs.
I'm totally there with you. We will be there opening night, July 21st at the Diamond here at the Signature. So